So this is about the importance of having a website with a responsive design. So what is that all about? Well, this picture actually gives a pretty good illustration. You can see how the basic imagery of each screen is the same. So that image has been adjusted to fit the different kinds of screens that are shown here on this slide. So a responsive design is actually a technical term. Now we're talking about the programming of websites and what goes into the back end when the actual website is being coded and created. And it means that the website itself is programmed so that it will automatically adjust in size depending on what kind of device you're using. This makes the website easy to read and use on any type of device, whether it's a desktop, laptop, tablet, or smartphone. All right, have you ever pulled up a website on your phone and had to scroll all over the place to read it? Like that site on the left there? Pulls it up, but you would have to obviously have like a full-size web page up that your phone only catches, this is less than half. So you have to basically scroll across to read the whole thing, and it's pretty inconvenient, to say the least. And as I've said before, like in today's fast-paced world where people are used to pretty instant gratification and being able to get what they want pretty instantly, that bad user experience could be enough to just throw somebody completely off your page and onto whatever else, the next guy's page. So then the image on the right is actually a responsive design where the website has been adjusted to fit the size of the screen of this iPhone. And then further, if you see up in the upper left-hand corner where it's got those three lines, you can actually click on that and it'll actually expand the type, meaning it's going to be larger point type and easier to read. So it's a way better user experience, and someone can easily read that site from the cell phone and easily get your message and even fill in forms or click through to your phone number or whatever. It's all totally set up. Whereas the other one is just kind of what we say a dog's breakfast. It's bad news. It's hard to navigate. And people are used to not having to deal with that anymore. Or the other scenario is if the writing's so small, you have to lean over and squint at it or zoom open the pages with your fingers. And I don't know anyone who has not had this experience. If you're intense enough and what you're trying to get done is important enough, you'll kind of endure that experience and make it happen and get what you need. But it definitely takes some focus and work and so forth. And it's not like we should all be lazy about it, but it's just sort of like in today's world, that's not what's needed and wanted from the public at large. What they want is a very easy user interface where they can get everything they could possibly want right on their cell phone. They can read what they want, fill in the stuff they need to, click through, and put in credit card data, whatever, and it's easy to do. So you have to kind of provide that just as what's needed and wanted for today's society. So those non-awesome user experiences just do not fly anymore. It actually, these days, as far as the standards go, now, just because I'm in this world so much, when I encounter a website that is not responsive, it's really like, man, this is like, you guys are out of it, This is like years behind now. And it's not a good way to present yourself on the internet. Also, consider this. This is actually a quote from Google where they went ahead and said that more searches take place on mobile devices than on computers in 10 countries, including the U.S. and Japan. And that came out this year. And that's the first time they actually stepped down and said, yes, mobile has now taken over as far as the go-to device to surf the internet. So that's very significant. So if most of the people are using a cell phone or a tablet to go through the internet and find what they want and buy things and choose professional help or professional practitioners or whatever, it means you really have to bring your A game to this mobile platform. And you just can't muff this or fumble it. You have to just come all the way and make it very easy, and you'll see the results in your statistics. Then they also have heard of this. Last April, they introduced this thing that was called Mobilegeddon. It's short for Mobile Armageddon. Armageddon is like from the Bible, the end of the world. Obviously, it wasn't the end of the world. It was a little bit of exaggeration, but it was to make a point. And so, in April 2015, Google changed its search formula to give higher priority to mobile-friendly sites that are easy to view on the small screen of a smartphone. So just to put this into context really quick, as you know, Google is the go-to. I mean, there are other search engines, and that's respected and everything like that, but I believe we all know that Google is really the king as far as finding things on the internet. Therefore, they dictate really people's lives pretty significantly, because if you show up well on Google, you're found, you attract the interest you need, and that very directly results in how many people come in, how many people contract with you, how many clients you get, how many patients you get, how much revenue you make, how well you survive, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously we have to pay attention to Google, and Google also has an inclination to switch up the way they operate, and some of these changes are very small, and only the top technicians would really detect them and so forth, but this one is really big, and that's why it really hit the media, and you probably did see it, this mobile Armageddon thing. So Armageddon refers to the fact that sites which ranked extremely high on one given day ranked disastrously lower overnight, and that's specifically because they didn't have a responsive design and didn't come up well on mobile. So you can see mobile holds the strings there, and it just behooves you, if your site is not responsive, you really need to address that. I want to make this point as well. There is also a public relations aspect to all of this. It builds confidence if you're up to date and modern. It just does. If you come to a site that's obviously with the times, it says something about the management, it says something about the people in charge, and that they're contemporary, and that they're rolling with the times, and they're not waiting to be told to do this or that. They're right on it. So that has a lot of public relations value, right? Now, contrary to that, they're just not on the internet a lot. It's just not what they do. They just haven't glommed onto it like the rest of society has, or the younger aspect of society. There's some strata of society that are on the internet for, I don't even want to guess how many hours per day, but it could be half the day or more. So you have to realize your audience. And even if the internet and websites and so forth don't loom as large in your own mind, you have to realize you're communicating out to a world that has a lot to do with the internet and really does notice how their user experience is, and you have to provide them what's needed and wanted, even if it's not necessarily a big thing for you. And if you don't do that, or you fall behind, you really do come across as out of date, and that sends a message. That's a public relations faux pas. It's a miss. You could come across really modern and easy to digest and easy to find and easy to contact, and if you're falling short of that, why do that? It's just going to cut into your chances of getting more business into your practice or your business or whatever. So, if your site isn't responsive already, then you need to handle this as a top priority. It's just true. It's just the truth. And the way we've handled this with the people that we work with, if they already have a website that they had built with whatever other company or person, you can contact them and see if they can upgrade your current site to a responsive website. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. So you can check that out as your first action. If you did your website with us, it will be responsive already. If you need to start from scratch and just get yourself a responsive website, you should just do that. I will say that we have a holiday special going on right now, which is a 5-page website, totally customized and responsive for $2,500. It's actually a great deal, and you will wind up with an awesome site that services you from here on out. Down the road, if you want to add pages, that can be arranged, but what you're going to have is a modernized, responsive, and custom designed website that's really going to be your, it's like your real cornerstone for all your marketing. When you come across well on the internet, that services, any other marketing actions you may be taking. So it's really worth the investment. And our intention is for you to get your mobile user experience really flying. So whether you do it with your current guys or whether you do it with us, please get your mobile experience really up there and get your site responsive, and you'll see the response. I guarantee it, okay? All right. Well, that's my point for this webinar. Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you again soon, okay?